Hi, future doctors. It's your professor, Dr. Paul Gerhardt from City University. Well, here we are. We're in week 2. So far, so good. We're off to a really good start. I want everybody to know that I'm sincerely impressed with each of you for all of your contributions last week. Most of you really stepped up to the APA formatting plate. So in other words, your APA was either perfect or nearly perfect. If it wasn't perfect, I took some time and I wrote you a note and gave you a little bit of coaching. It's a requirement of our program that everybody use and practice using uh, perfect APA formatting. So you may have noticed that the Purdue OWL APA website is a free source that I recommended some people. Please check it out if you haven't done so. You can find it by Googling the words APA Purdue OWL website. And in there they've got some tips on formatting your papers and your discussions and things that are important in APA. So here we are. We've started this session to explore what great leaders do and how to groom leaders in this day and age and for the future. I love the wisdom and the research that everyone was sharing with the rest of the class. Keep doing that. That's what this class is really all about. This week, I want to recognize one of your peers, Miss Sylvia Lee. She did some really excellent work throughout the week in her discussions. She had lots of contributions to the class. Bravo to you. She participated often and in a very meaningful way to our discussions throughout the week. She was very scholarly and wonderfully positive and supportive. She wisely pointed out that effective leadership is about relationships. She also noted that trust and authenticity are at the core of what leaders must cultivate. Other qualities that Ms. Lee found in the literature is that optimism, confidence, resiliency, and confidence are important if leaders want to spread and grow their ideal vision. So excellent work, Ms. Lee. Very cool. Of course, many of you found similar characteristics of effective leaders and have started to unpeel the complexities behind effective leadership and things to consider in developing a leader of the future. So please be thinking about your ethical leadership development paper and also the Developing Future Leaders Action Plan. Those due dates are coming up very quickly. Continue to work on building your research and thinking about these models. I'd love to see everyone do very well on these major assignments. Your participation in weekly discussions is a wonderful opportunity to get your brains on track to explore these complex topics associated with the literature. Since now we're in week 2, please move forward to start working on module 2. There's no required reading, but I highly suggest you look at the article 5 Best Practices by Kouzes and Posner. It's based on their best-selling book, Leadership Challenge. If you don't have that in your personal library, it might make a good addition to pick up. These authors are greatly respected in the leadership training and development arena. So I love the Leadership Challenge. I think they do an excellent job in helping leaders focus on key principles that seem to help leaders get the best out of their followers. When I do training, I personally use their model to develop leaders and help them know what's important. Here's some of the key concepts from the book to consider. One, model the way. This is finding your voice and setting an example. So being a leader means being out in front and knowing that people are watching what you're doing. And you got to be true to yourself. When you're finding your voice, know that you may see things differently than other people, but how are you going to get your perspectives out there? Inspire a shared vision. So the word inspire recognizes that people have choices. So you've got to figure out what the ideal vision is. What would the organization, the team, the outcomes look like ideally. And then you got to enroll other people, or they use the term enlist other people in that vision. Challenge the process. So recognizing that change is always constant. Uh, you have to look for opportunities. When things aren't working well, there's an opportunity. How can you address those things that need to be changed? Lots of information in the literature on change. You have to experiment when you're working with change. Know that things aren't always going to go well, but every time you try something, there may be new opportunities that come up to explore for that and to fix things that make things even better. You have to experiment. That means you have to take risks. You can't be scared of making mistakes and things not going well. Great leaders know that everybody makes mistakes and that that's okay. So you got to create a culture around making it okay to make mistakes and making it okay to be brave and explore. So number 4, enable others to act. You have to foster collaboration and strengthen other people. That means you got to empower people. You got to, of course, put the right systems in place and parameters to control things that could cause problems, but help other people know that they're empowered to make decisions that positively affect the organization. And when mistakes happen, don't make people feel bad about mistakes that have happened, but help create learning opportunities in those things. So those are the kinds of things that if a leader does and practices, then other people will feel that it's okay, and they'll also become more collaborative and supportive to each other. And then finally, the glue that makes everything stick, encourage the heart. You know, when people are doing something good, recognize those contributions. You know, celebrate the differences. Help people know that it's wonderful when they see things differently. You know, celebrate people's values. Celebrate the small victories. Find ways to praise and create a culture where people find that stretching and growing and accomplishing new things is an okay thing to do. So, great book, Leadership Challenge by Kouzes and Posners. I highly recommend you pick it up, but do read the article that's listed under Module 2. So this week we'll be discussing our organization's key initiatives and strategies and how well these are or are not aligned with a view of developing leaders of the future. So there's no required reading this week, as I mentioned earlier. As always, your discussion posts are due on Wednesday. I know we had a few people who were late this last week, so please make sure you're posting your answers by Wednesday. Make sure they're formatted with APA formatting, they're on time, and they bring value to our discussions. This is a doctoral program, and our accreditation is validated by your hard work that are meeting the standards. So please bring value like you did, most of you did this last week, by sharing in a scholarly way what you're finding in the research and fully answering the questions, and then engaging in the discussions actively throughout the week. So discussion answers are due on Wednesday. Peer replies are due on or before Sunday. And I need to see 3 peer replies from everybody that had value to the discussion. Don't just say, good job, I agree with you. Talk about why you agree. Why don't you agree? What specific things did you read in your peers' email that you, or discussions that you really liked? So anyway, there's a piece that I wanted to talk about that hopefully will help you in your research. I've posted a link to a couple of YouTube videos for a free program called Evernote. What I like about Evernote is you can download it to any of your devices. You can access it anywhere online with Evernote.com. It's a free program. You can download it for your smartphones and your iPads and all of your devices, your Android devices, and you can take your research anywhere. But it's a cool tool. You can use it for time management. You can use it for doing project management. I put all sorts of lists when I'm writing my books. I'm creating articles and my ideas, and I'm organizing them. It's wonderful. It's portable, and it automatically saves and updates to all of your devices. So it's a cool tool to compile research in, especially. And so that's what you'll notice that are in the videos are ways that you can use Evernote to work on your materials in this program. So I highly suggest that you download Evernote from evernote.com. You create folders. Maybe one folder is on leadership articles. Maybe another folder in Evernote is change articles. Maybe another one is motivational articles. Maybe one is on diversity. Anyway, that way, when you start compiling your research, you can go to each of the file folders just like you would on a computer, but you have quick access to it. It's even better if you start creating an annotated bibliography where you've got your reference formatted properly in APA, but then you have a description, maybe 250 words about what that article is about, so that you can start putting things together and synthesizing it. When you get to your dissertation stage, your chapter 2 is really all about taking a look at the research articles that surround whatever your topic is that you're writing your dissertation on. So I think being proactive and saving your materials in Evernote and having access to it anywhere where there's an internet is a great best practice. So I hope you find that to be a useful tool as you work on your doctoral program. So anyway, I know I've taken up about 12 minutes of your time, but I hope that you enjoy this week's discussion as much as I've enjoyed last week's discussion. I will meet you online and look forward to interacting with you. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me via phone. You have my cell phone number and you have my email. I'm always happy to help. Thank you so much. Have a great day.